Okay, Ozark Electric, it is December 1st. Tomorrow, Monday, December 2nd, we'll be hosting a Co-op 101 here at Mount Vernon at 6 o'clock. We're going to be going over the 7 cooperative principles and talk about just kind of that helps direct, how we behave as a company, what we do, how we make decisions, our governance, how we operate. This whole thing that is your co-op. Okay, so join us for that if you can. December is going to be busy around here. December, we're wrapping up budgets, doing the final touches on those things to present to our board of directors in a 2-day session that we take in December to take a deep dive into those details. The rate discussions are going on. We've shared with you that we have had another rate increase from KMO, our power supplier. That's going to necessitate another rate movement by us. We will do that incrementally as they do that incrementally. And so we'll have the details for you out of the December 19th and 20th is when the board will be meeting to determine that. As soon as we make that decision, we're going to turn around, get that information to you. We'll be able to do that most immediately through our digital media, through our number one, our website. We'll do it on Facebook as well. We will release it throughout the emails that some of you sign up for emails. And we use that as a form of communication to you. We will also be putting it in, the new format for the bills lets us put more words and characters in that bill message that's in there. So we'll put it in there as well. So every means that we have that we communicate with you. The last one that'll roll out will be the rural Missouri. And the lead time on the rural Missouri is such that when we make that decision, we won't make January print. So the first you'll be able to see it in the local pages of the rural Missouri will be the end of January, that February issue. So it'll be in print there. And so we'll get that information to you as soon as we can. We're also going through, we're wrapping up inventories. We're also taking a look at where we're at with our materials. How are we for storm readiness? We're making sure everything is ready for any of the weather that comes rolling through here that we would face that, that can hit us. Anywhere from snow, from ice, any of that kind of stuff can hit the Ozarks, which impacts us. And so we've got to make sure that we're ready for that. Employee complement is we're all here. We haven't sent anybody away to help with any storm or restoration anywhere else. So we're looking good going into wrapping up the end of the year. And so we hope that December behaves itself and lets us get a handle on rolling in and jumping into 2025 with the new year really well. We've had an election since I talked to you last, and so we have a new administration that's going to be ramping up to go into the White House, and they're already hitting the ground running on, what they're going to do with energy policy. I've had some of you contact me, ask me, what is that going to mean? Well, there's not an immediate relief to the spending and the things that are being done on the generation side to actually make preparations for the closures that are still slated to happen with coal plants and some of the other things that are being decommissioned and taken off the grid. So those capital investments are still happening. Those expenditures are still rolling out from the power provider that we have at KMO to make transmission upgrades for those things. And then at the associated level, bringing on and breaking ground on those 2 new natural gas plants to help us. Those spends have happened. They're being made, and there's no turning those back, and we don't want them to. We want to make sure that they do that so that as we continue to try and figure out what the United States grid is going to look like and how it's going to behave, function, and be able to take care of the growing needs of EV, and that's electric vehicles. These data centers are just... they're popping up everywhere. It's kind of like the Wild West. And so no one really knows where some of those things are going to land. If they land in your territory, they make a huge impact. But as they land in the United States, they have an impact across the entire grid because of the amount of megawatts they require for their operation 24 hours a day. They're looking at how they can maybe kind of break some of that up and sprinkle it around and maybe make it something that isn't 24 hours a day. So a lot of those things are happening. Nuclear still is kind of the buzzword as far as energy certainty in the future, and maybe how to onboard it into the nation's grid and embrace it as a clean renewable as far as generating power for us. So a lot of those things are happening. The industry is really a buzz right now with all those things happening, and what is going to be the impact for us, short term, long term. Is there a long term? I don't think that there's a long term when you have the two parties that share time or switch time in the White House have different views on what energy independence or America's energy looks like going forward. And so it's hard to say, okay, if it's 4 years of this, then we flip-flop to 4 years of another. How do you chart that smoothly for everyone? And so I'd like for both parties just to kind of have the same idea of what we want to do for America's energy. That would help the people that generate our energy, transmit it, and get it to us so that we can get it to you, be able to chart financially a pace that would be more agreeable to folks, okay? So as we have that information, we're going to share it with you. And like I said, be sure and, yourself, your neighbors, your friends, your family, tell them, hey, follow us on Facebook, go to our webpage, check out and read your rural Missouri when it hits. When you get your bills, whether it's in the mail or if it's we give it to you electronically, open those things up and read those things that we put in there, because that's the surest way we have to communicate with you what's happening with your co-op, with your rates, and with what's going on from day to day. Okay, and so we're going to continue to do that. Lastly, I just want to tell you all to have a very, very Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time off with your loved ones. And that always kind of helps spring us into tackling, okay, what's going to be coming in 2025. So remember the reason we celebrate, and make sure that you share that with other people. Be sure and tell the folks that you care about, that you love them, hug their necks. Don't let that go unspoken. So have an incredible holiday, Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in January.